This is the ULC-TT Universal Load Corner for our TT truss. Basically, when we built the new TT series truss, we looked at how truss is used in the industry typically. And generally, when people set up a grid, they tend to pick it up inside on the truss itself, which is the part that normally has the load tables built for it. And that gives us a cantilever effect on a truss. So really the best part of a grid to pick up is right on the corners. And typically within the industry, there's not a corner that's specifically designed to be used as a pickup point. So we came up with the Universal Load Corner, and it is actually a rated piece of lifting equipment. Okay, so it's rated with at 2.5 tons. So we can actually lift up, as you can see on the top there, as it would be in a mother grid, but also we can actually hang from the load corner, so we can then form bridles or whatever we want from a proper rated structure. Okay, we designed it to go with the TT truss, which in itself, the whole package is more efficient than any other truss we feel, because the size of the truss is 30 centimeters, but the strength of the truss is equal to a GP 52 centimeter truss. So now what we're doing is we're actually saving on trucking space, because we can actually lift up an equal load to GP truss in a lot physically smaller cubic capacity to load into trucks for tours, etc. The other unique thing is that the truss itself is rated as a tower and as a truss. So now it's a universal truss. So we can use it with a tower system to build the ground support, or if it's in your hire fleet, you can actually then take it out and use it as a normal truss. The spigots themselves and the truss is rated so that the spigots can be horizontal or vertical, and they do all articulate. So now we can then start to form circles, arches, everything else. So if you're a hire company, the size of your warehouse becomes a lot smaller. The trucking space that you need to ship it out becomes a lot smaller, and the actual stock that you need again becomes a lot smaller. So it's a cost-saving type of truss. The Universal Load Corner itself, we feel, is unique in the fact that it is the only real rated corner. Most other trusses, if you look at it, depending on who's manufactured, don't actually show a load table for the corners. So we feel it's safe. It's more safe than any other type of corner that is out there. But also, when you buy it, it also comes in as a 6-way corner. So you've already got a 6-way corner in your stock. So we can go build it in this orientation as a grid, as you can see on the stand, or we can actually set it up as a grid, but with upright fixed legs, which will actually fit onto the truss itself. That basically is the Universal Load Corner. I don't know whether you've got any questions.
Is it safer because it's because of the way it's rigged, or because it's load rated?
Both.
Okay.
Both actually. The way that it's rigged allows the load to be transferred directly into the corner and then directly onto the pickup point. Whereas if we have a standard corner, for example, a typical corner, we're taking the load on the truss, and we've created a cantilever effect. So now anything else that we're putting on the side of the truss is forming a big cantilever on the existing truss. So we're actually adding more to the load than we would normally be.
So looking at this and this, so is that 2 corner plates?
Yes, the way that the TT truss is we've made it so that and another thing in our industry, unfortunately, is that when we have a lot of the trusses become generic. In other words, they all look similar, and as you know, everybody's truss has a different load table. So therefore then, if you don't realise what you're doing, you're putting something up and something unfortunately goes wrong, who do you blame? Well, I've got X's truss on there and I've got Y's truss on there. Whose load table do you take? Whatever. We've made it so that we have male and female spigots on one end, so we can't actually connect to anybody else's truss, and we feel that's safer in itself.
Okay. So the double plating is just to take one.
And a double plating is to take the male, and the single plate is to take the female.
But that's only one corner, right? Was that your
But then
question?
if you look at this one, see how it's only one plate thick.
That's just flipped over.
It's just spun over, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the same on all the corners are identical.
Very nice.
And it doesn't matter which way around we put it in any orientation, so we feel it's easier to assemble as well.
What's the reason for the? I mean, it sticks out a lot from the line of the truss,
Yeah.
which against other corners is maybe a disadvantage. What's the reason for those large circles in the?
The circles are just to take away some of the weight. When we did the full stress analysis, we found that there was no stress in those particular areas, and because it's a large corner, as you say, we wanted to take some weight.
It to stick out.
We designed
the
it.
line of the truss.
We designed it so that it would be exactly half a metre in any orientation, so that now when we put it into a grid, it makes it nice and easier on a standard length of truss to build a grid. Whereas sometimes you get a corner and it might be 0.7 of a metre or 0.4 of a metre, and standard lengths of truss don't usually come in 0.4s or 0.7s. So we've made this 0.5 because generally trusses come in full metres or metre and a halves or in that stage. So now, again, if you're building a grid, you don't need specialist lengths of truss.
How much does it cost?
Basically, the whole range has been designed to be smaller and equal in price to GP truss.
Okay.
When you look at the corner, if you had a two-way corner of a standard GP truss, it's probably more expensive. However, when you get to three-way, it's equal, and anything above, it's cheaper, but it always comes as a six-way configuration. So if you look at it overall, it's actually cheaper than buying a three-way corner and a four-way corner and keeping different ones on stock. So you've always got a six-way corner on stock, which can be used in any orientation.
1 minute, any last questions? Sorry, we're on a very strict schedule.
That's okay.
So the actual price is?
The actual price?
Yeah.
I'm afraid I have to ask my marketing man on that one, I don't know. But if I can catch you somewhere around, I'll give you the price.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. Cheers. Bye-bye.